in the country's media and political landscape. Born on March 11th, 1959 in Mongu in Western Province, Dr. Membe is best known for founding the Post newspapers in 1991, which became a prominent voice for investigative journalism and criticism of government policies. Now, Dr. Membe's work has earned him numerous international awards, local and international. In 2018, Dr. Membe founded the Socialist Party, positioning himself as a presidential candidate in the 2021 elections, and continues to advocate for socialist policies, focusing on economic disparities, inequality, and improved social services. Dr. Membe, Vice President of the People's Pact, Mr. Kaluba Simuyemba, and also Mr. Bob Sichinga will be joining us a little later on the show this morning on The Hot Seat. These are our guests on The Hot Seat. I'm your host. My name is Peter Zulu. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to The Hot Seat.
Thank you for hosting us. Good morning.
Good morning.
The Hot Seat.
We're live on 87.7 here in Lusaka, live on DSTV channel 912 and Go TV channel 301 throughout the country. We're also live on Kwitu FM on 93.3 FM. We're live on Kanele FM on 97.7 FM in Lundazi. You can stream us live on the TuneIn app, Radio Garden, and the Radio Box, wherever you may be on this planet. As long as you have internet coverage, you will be able to be part of this conversation. We're also live on YouTube and Facebook on Hot FM Zambia. So if you have any questions or contributions, any comments that you'd like to add, or any questions that you'd like to put forward to our panel of guests this morning, feel free to do so on those particular platforms. We will be able to put them forward to our guests to tackle them. I would like us to start our conversation. Dr. Membe, I'll start with you. You were yesterday released from police custody of allegations related to your comments on the late President Edgar Lungu's burial. Just briefly, what did the experience? Just tell us the experience that you had being, arrested and spending some nights in police cells, and just what does this say about the space for debate in Zambia?
It's clear that speech has been criminalized in this country. Whatever you say, if it displeases those who are in power, it displeases Mr. Hichilema and those around him, it becomes a criminal offense. There's very little that you can say now if it displeases them without it being criminal. The charge I'm facing is that of humiliating Mr. Hichilema by simply pointing out Mulomendo leko munobe ayatushe baleke bashike ekitumbi kyabo te ekitumbi kyobe Edgar temu nobe te bululu obe leka ba bululu bakwe bamushike efyo balefwaya. That became an issue of humiliating Hichilema. But how do you humiliate somebody who has humiliated himself? It's not me who told him to stop Edgar being buried. Yes, they are arguing that it's Edgar's family that doesn't want to bury Edgar. It's not true. I traveled among other people to Johannesburg to go and bury Edgar. While we were at church, an injunction was served on the family not to bury Edgar. And the injunction was obtained by the Attorney General of the Republic of Zambia, the chief advisor to Hichilema, who obtained it in the Pretoria High Court and commenced litigation that stopped the Lungu family from burying Edgar. They got the decision from the High Court that they wanted, but Edgar's family has appealed, and they have the right to do so. They have appealed to the Supreme Court of South Africa. So who is keeping Edgar not buried? Is it the family or Hichilema? It is Hichilema. The Attorney General does not act in his own right. He acts on behalf of Hichilema. So the decision that the Attorney General is taking them on the instructions of Hichilema. He's acting on instruction from his client, which is Hichilema, the main client. So they shouldn't lie that is a Lungu family that is not interested in getting Edgar buried. Today is 9 months since Edgar died. 9 months. In 3 months' time, it will be 12 months. We don't know if he will be buried in the next 3 months. If he's not, what will be the 5th of June? The memorial for Edgar, who is not buried, or what? The period of national mourning was stopped by Hichilema himself. There's no mourning in Zambia of Edgar officially. It was stopped. And everybody is going about their business. Hichilema himself is campaigning now, full swing. But there's one group of people that have not stopped mourning, that are still Mututambalatwa black. And that's Edgar's widow, Edgar's children, Edgar's sister, and the entire Edgar's family. They are still mourning. They can't stop until he's buried. You never stop mourning until you bury. So their lives have been paralyzed for 9 months. Tarsila herself, the daughter to Edgar, lost her seat through the cruelty of Hichilema and his regime. Someone is still mourning, they go and grab the seat. They wanted her to leave the funeral and come and behave as if everything is normal. When you question that, you are humiliating Hichilema. Who has humiliated him?
Well, the humiliation part, Dr. Membe, was highlighted in the fact that you suggested that you would want to eat his body.
No, I never
suggested.
I never suggested.
Was it
that.
a figure of speech when you said?
No, a question is not saying something. I asked, why do you want the body of Edgar here? Why do you want it? Or what? It's a question. Mm-hmm. It's a question, it's not a statement. Again, it's another way of trying to twist and get the result that they want. Mm-hmm. Which human being eats bodies? It's another human being.
What were you trying to communicate with that? With that question? By asking
by
that
question?
Yes.
It's really, what do you want the body for? 1 is not your friend. 2 is not your relative. What do you want to bury him for? What is it that you want? And now they are instigating an investigation that is poisoned. The complainant, who is the complainant? It's people they have hired. It's people connected to them. Again, it's another way of just trying to be difficult over the Edgar family. Manipulating things. They are realizing that, it will be difficult in the Supreme Court. And also time is running out. This is the reality. Again, that's not their body. The body of a deceased belongs to his family. It does not belong to anybody else.
There were additional charges that were added to your charge, Dr. Membe. Mm-hmm. And again, I want to find out from you, because, and I'm happy that your vice president from the Pact is here as well. As politicians, as leaders, are you conversant with the cyber crimes law? Have you read it? Have you understood it? Because it prohibits you to speak about why you've been summoned, to explaining the summon. Didn't you not have this? Haven't you read it? Don't you have prior information to this so that you avoid some of these charges?
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Hichilema wanted, to be praised by the world that he has removed defamation laws. What he's using now is worse than what he removed. He removed that because it was useless. It was no longer useful because he had much more stringent laws in place that he had put. How can somebody call himself a Democrat? How can somebody sleep with a clear conscience when is prohibiting the freedom of expression to its highest level? You are summoned to the police. You can't tell your relatives that you have been summoned to the police. You can't tell even your lawyers because you are disclosing. You can't tell even your pastor, your reverend, that mayiro munshindikeko mulandu. It means you can't send them a WhatsApp message because it's electronic. It's cyber crime. I can't send you a message, a WhatsApp message, or any message on the phone to tell you, Comrade PZ, tomorrow I'm appearing at the police station. Come and accompany me. Using their mechanisms, they detect that. Then they will say you have communicated something that is illegal. Does it make sense? Yes, you can pass any laws, but the laws have to conform to the constitutional requirements. And that's why many people were opposed. You can see why many people of goodwill opposed Hakainde's cyber crime laws. This is what he wanted to do. I'm the first person to be charged under that, I'm told. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the police call out, is it a state secret? No, it's not a state secret. And do they disclose what they're investigating on a police call out? They don't. So, again, these are laws that are made to repress people, to abuse people, to intimidate people, and so on. And they shouldn't be tolerated. Should we subscribe to certain just laws? Or we should resist that? We should oppose them? Colonialism was a law. Didn't we oppose it? The one-party state was a law, a constitutional requirement. Didn't we oppose it? Didn't we resist it? Weren't people arrested and detained for opposing it? Unjust laws, unjust practices, unfair practices, inhuman practices have to be resisted at all times, regardless of the consequences.
Even when you agree that a law is bad, and there's consensus around the country to say this law is bad, but law still remains law, Dr. Membe. Don't you agree? Then it shouldn't be somewhat abrogated at will because it's a bad law, even if we agree that it's a bad law.
The colonial laws were bad laws. But they were laws. The one-party state was a law. Didn't we challenge it? I was part of the people who challenged that in 1990, 1991. Were we wrong to challenge it?
I think you need to add that to context, Dr. Membe, when you say challenge it. It's one thing to challenge a law and advocate for it to be amended or repealed, and it's one thing to break the law.
I haven't broken any law. A law can be unconstitutional. This law is unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. It goes against the fundamental rights of every human being in this country. It goes against the freedom of expression, which is fundamental. We have taken unjust laws to court. They have been broken by people and they have been challenged in court and they have been amended. The Public Order Act itself was amended. How many people break the Public Order Act? How many? Even yourself, probably every week, every month, you break the Public Order Act. You do gather more than 5 of you or so. If we followed the Public Order Act, you wouldn't even have a party at your house. How many permits have you collected? You, Comrade PZ. Over the Public Order Act. Don't you know the Public Order Act? How many times have you broken it? Where has it exempted you? As an ordinary citizen. Because you may think the Public Order Act just refers to politicians. No. You yourself. How many times have you gathered with others? Even 10 of you drinking, or 20 of you drinking, you need a permit, strictly speaking. You're breaking the Public Order Act. A law that citizen break so easily is not a law. Can you avoid breaking a law that says you can't tell your brother, you can't send a WhatsApp message to your brother that my lobale info ya ku police tiyo nipelekeze?
Doc, I want you to just highlight that part of a Public Order Act also, because it's clear on when people are gathering to discuss national matters. That's where that comes into play, where I have to notify the police. But to say if we're gathering to just...
There's nowhere where it says gather to discuss public matters.
When you're gathering to discuss matters of national interest, it's a requirement in the Public Order Act to sing the national anthem for starters.
PZ, there's nowhere in the Public Order Act where it says national matters or politics. It doesn't define it that way. You're adding a definition to it.
I am not adding a definition to it. I am not adding a definition to it.
Well, we've got it here. We can go to the Public Order Act and show what it says.
Please. We can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that. I will give you enough time to do that. But
but look, it doesn't say politics. It doesn't say national matters. It's any form of gathering. You have heard the police disperse religious gatherings. You have heard it yourself. Are religious gatherings politics? They have told them they don't have a permit. You have heard religious gatherings. Maybe I'm lying, you can correct me. I stand to be corrected. So that shows you how bad the law is. That's why many of your fellow citizens are opposed to it. It's not only politicians who are opposed to this. And how many people have been arrested over the cybercrime laws who are not politicians? How many? Actually, when you critically look at it, the politicians will start being fewer. It affects every citizen. You can be called to the police. A call out is issued to you. Call outs are not only issued to politicians. You might have had some differences with someone, or somebody has alleged that you have taken their phone unlawfully. And then they issue a call out for you. You send a WhatsApp message to your relatives. Mpelekeze ku polisi vaniitana. I think ni mulandu waka phone kaja. They will charge you with the same cybercrime law or offense they have charged me with.
Let's look at the way forward, Dr. Membe. What plans do you have for laws like this? When elected into office?
They should have no place in a civilized society.
For people to hold you to account, I'm going to ask you this so that we have it on record. How long should the Zambian people wait? If Fred Membe is elected into office on 13th of August this year, how long should people wait for a repeal or an amendment to these cyber laws in the Public Order Act?
Let me start with the Public Order Act. We have said it before, that within the first session, within the first sitting of Parliament, we will not just amend, we will repeal it completely. Remove it from the statute books. It has no place. And we will not be the first ones in the world. There are so many other countries, including in Africa, where they have removed it, who had inherited it from the British. They have removed it. What is special about us? Again, there are many laws that can enable the police and the law enforcement agencies to maintain law and order. There are many laws. Law and order, yes, must be maintained, but there are many ways to maintain that. In some places, they don't even need the act if you go to the rural areas, to the villages. There's law and order in our villages. Without the police, the police are not there, but our people are maintaining law and order. So there are many ways to maintain law and order, in addition to the laws. Removal of the Public Order Act, removal of the Cybercrime Act can be done within a short period of getting into government. If it's possible to do it within a month, it will be done.
So for you, just on record, first session of Parliament, if Dr. Fred Member is president, we expect these laws to be repealed.
Yes.
I want to bring in, Vice President here, Mr. Kaluba Simuyemba. Simuyemba, I beg your pardon. Let's look at the Pact. Okay, we know that Dr. Fred Member here is presidential candidate of the Pact come August 13th, 2026. How's the People's Pact mobilizing ahead of August 13th general elections?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, the People's Pact, I would like to just bring a few comments to the table that the People's Pact movement is actually a creation of the people of Zambia. It has existed since 2011, and it has supported many candidates and many governments into government. And the People's Pact now is being refined and reset to change to the optics of the dynamics of present-day Zambia. What do we mean by that? The stakeholders, the people of Zambia themselves, have taken it about themselves that we cannot leave the governance issues to the politicians alone. And therefore, they've taken center stage. Where you see us here, it's not about Dr. Fred Membe recruiting Mr. Simuyemba or Simuyemba being recruited into the People's Pact by another politician. No. It is an ensemble which has been made possible by these stakeholders. That is other leadership other than the political leadership itself. Why has it been? For 61 years, you are aware, Comrade Zulu, that politicians like being a cycle. Every election comes with all these, whether it's ingenious or genius kind of promises to the people of Zambia, sweet, others in bad taste, as we are complaining about the laws. Their government is busy making archaic laws or making bad laws, and then the people are being subjected to all sorts of promises. It's election cycle. Now, the stakeholders, the people themselves have said, to Anaka, this time we're going to be part and parcel of this particular formation. That is, we must participate not only in making a government, but also we want to be part and parcel of the governance issues. Having said that, I'll come to the mobilization issue which you've asked.
Yes.
Today, as we stand, the People's Pact has got presence in each and every district, each and every constituency, each and every chiefdom, each and every ward. How is that possible? The people of Zambia themselves are mobilizing themselves towards 2026 general election, where Dr. Fred Membe will be ushered into office. There are other people, let me just take a bit of a turn here. There are other people and other political actors who are busy playing with the optics of social media and say this one is popular, this one is what.
Yes.
We are just watching, and the mobilization is the people themselves.
Okay, so how's the growth of the Pact? How's, ever since the announcement of Dr. Membe's candidature as your presidential candidate, how's the Pact grown from in popularity from the time that announcement was made? Because we've seen other alliances and pacts that have come up. How are you faring compared to the other alliances that we have now?
Bazulu, is there any alliance which is standing right now? Is there any alliance? Mention just one which is standing. Just one. Mention one. Other than this People's Pact, which is not actually an alliance. Is there any alliance that you can point to that there is that alliance? I don't want to mention alliances that they've been projected on public medias and the like, but there is no alliance worth the thought to give any inspiration to the Zambian people. The only ensemble that is viable and going to produce result is the People's Pact, because it's the people themselves, other leaders from all walks of life, the trade union movement, the chiefs, the student leadership, the church, the corporates, and the farmers themselves. They've come together and say, I'm my politicians to anaka na imwe. Let us now take center stage. By optimal percentage, you can even say that we maybe just take a measure as political actors in this pact, maybe 30% to 40%. 60% is other stakeholders. They are there and they don't want to play these politics of media and everything. They are silent and they are doing things quietly because they say, okay, wakainde na ba UPND balelanda titakuwa ba opposition. So apakupita pofika na Zambia bali pualala. You abuse them. At the end of the day, you just go and say, vote for us, they'll vote for you. But the people are saying, okay, let him come. We've got the voters' cards, and we're going to see where power rests. So this is where we are.
Okay. I want to bring back Dr. Membe in this conversation here. The Electoral Commission of Zambia has been conducting delimitation consultations to create 17 new constituencies. I'm going to ask you two questions. First, what do you feel, to both of you, what do you feel about the consultation process, how it's going, and was this necessary?
I think the question was very well answered by Senior Chief Mwamba Kuituna Kasama. When he told the commission, when they were meeting there, he asked them, you have come here already decided. You never came to us to ask us how many constituencies should come out of Kasama district. You have come with your own agenda. You have decided how you are going to divide. So what have you come here for? Tuafikana ifikabieni welele ni mumiyembe ati tuakana ifu. That was Senior Chief Mwamba. I think you watched that.
Yes.
I think that position is very correct. And I agree with it 100%. They have decided. Even in the 70, they say they will create 70. Who decided on that? Who did they consult before creating the 70, deciding on the 70? They have even already decided how they are going to distribute those 70. They have decided. The consultations that they are carrying out, they are not consultation. It's trying to just get their decision rubber stamped. These are not consultations. It's just a waste of money and a waste of people's time.
Why do you say so? Why do you think these are not consultations? Why do you think that the consultations are not genuine?
Firstly, how did they come to 70?
Well, this came from the technical committee that was put together to go around and take submissions from the people regarding the then Bill 7 that has later now become Amendment number 13 of 2025.
Where did that happen? Who was consulted under that? We are in the politics. We never heard of anybody. I don't know of anybody who was consulted. Who can say, Vari nchita consult, as Senior Chief Mwamba was saying? They were not consulted. This is the same position also that has been put by, in a similar way, put by Nkosiamakos, Mpezen. It's the same position. They never consulted anybody. They decided themselves. If they had consulted, who would know? Who would have been there to make submissions? Show me any person who made submissions in those consultations they carried out. If you know any, you can say this person made submissions or this institution made submissions. We never heard of those consultations. We never saw any such processes. We were never part of any such processes. And we don't know anybody who was part of it other than themselves. Who did they consult to come up with the 70? And which are those 70? They have already decided it's 70, regardless of what they find on the ground. It's 70. It's now just a question of rubber stamping it. Those are not consultation. They have decided even where those constituencies will be, those 70 constituencies will be, they have decided. If you look at some of their own members are already advertising. There's Malambo East adverts going on. How does he know, Mposha, that there will be a constituency called Malambo East? They have already decided. They know themselves. It's not a secret.
Is it right to then assume that the People's Pact has not participated in any of these consultation meetings held by the ECZ?
Yes, we have never. We have never.
Mr. Simuyemba, you want to add something?
Comrade PZ, it's very disheartening to see what is happening around the elections and the electoral process in this country. It's very, very unfortunate. Our friends have taken the extreme hand of lawfare. The extreme hand of lawfare. It is something that we've never seen before, the history of this country. Even within the UPND itself, within the UPND, you remember what happened in Zambezi district? If they were consulting, why did that MP refuse that you not cut this particular constituency? Why? Zambezi, that's UPND. Why? It's because even within the UPND itself as a political party, they have not consulted. Within their strongholds, they have not consulted. So this is being stage managed and an undertaking by just the Electoral Commission and the State House. Let them come and say that's not what it is. Going ahead with this kind of issue is also very contemptuous in court. There's a matter which is in court. They are busy taking things. You know, the People's Pact has taken the Electoral Commission and the Attorney General to court. The matter is in court there. They don't even respect the laws as they stand. So what kind of governance is that, where a sitting government does not respect even the fundamental wings and the institutions of the Constitution created by the Constitution itself? This is the UPND government led by Hakainde Hichilema. It's a test. It's a test. And election is a very important measure of what takes place and how democracy is evolving and how you govern the country. So to them, they have the instruments of power and they're going to do as they wish.
All right, I would like to also just welcome Mr. Sichinga, who is the People's Pact Vice President, to the show. We did say that he'll be joining us, and he has managed to join us on the hot seat. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you so much indeed, and I'd like to say hello to the listeners at this time.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
As we continue our conversation right here on the hot seat, in case you're just joining us on the hot seat this morning, we have Dr. Fred Membe, who is president of the Socialist Party and People's Pact 2026 presidential candidate. We also have Mr. Bob Sichinga in studio, People's Pact vice president, and Mr. Kaluba Simuyemba, who is president of the Movement for Change and Equality and vice president of the People's Pact as well. Last month, we saw the president fire two cabinet ministers, the Minister of Health and Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises Development, and he has not appointed replacement. Doc, I would like to get your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on this situation?
I think let's welcome Honorable Sichinga with that question. he has been in government more than enough.
I would hardly guess, but I think it's an internal issue.
Okay.
It's an internal issue. There's been a lot of speculation. The speculation has been that maybe they did not vote for the appropriate legislation, especially on the issue of Bill 7. But Dr.
Mchima.
Dr. Mchima?
Dr. Mchima, I think, refuted that. So it's up in the air. Because usually no reasons are given, except for President Kaunda. He's the one who gave reasons why he fired certain individuals. But also one questions, there have been so many issues in the past which have affected the behavior of the ministers, allegations against ministers and other government leaders, where you expected, for example, the issue of the ZAMSA. I think that the issue of the drugs, which I think was a very big issue nationally, and I think that heads should have rolled. They never happened. So you ask a question, what is the measure that he uses to gauge which one should be fired and which one should not be fired? And he has been, I think, very reluctant to fire any of his ministers. So you ask the question, what would be so strong? But I think you can speculate. Guessing the kind of leader President Hichilema is, it's most likely that it is something that he wanted to have his way and it could not have his way, and that's why probably he fired these people. Or it was an issue of, in his case, he can afford to fire these because they're not from a particular region, and therefore it has little consequence politically. But one questions also the timing. Look, it's just a few months before the end of his term of office, as far as this is concerned. So you ask the question, what is the measure? What does he use as a gauge in terms of what should and what should not go? So I don't know. My guess is as good as mine.
Should we be pressing for replacement ministers 3 months, just less than 3 months before a general election?
That's why I raised the issue. As far as I'm concerned, it's a simple waste of time. Because what else do happen? So, and the people of Zambia have to decide. I mean, they have to decide whether they want him to stay in office or not. The challenge that we have right now is that the changes that are taking place are so difficult to guess that it's not according to the laws and regulations of what we have been used to in terms of preparing for elections and so on and so forth. So this is it's a very difficult time, I think, for anybody. And I can assure you that we did not know what your questions were going to be. I wish we could have done a little bit more research. But the truth of the matter is that for 3-4 months to go, I would not appoint anybody if it was a stage where I thought that they needed to be fired. If I was in his shoes, I would not even bother to do that.
I want to bring this to Dr. Membe as presidential candidate for the People's Party.
Yeah, sure.
Are you going to be giving us a reason if you dismiss a minister? Will you be open to telling us, I'm letting go of my vice president here, Mr. Sichinga, or Mr. Simuyemba, who are in studio, because they have erred in this and this and that?
We are going to run a very complicated government. It will be a government of national unity. It will not be a government of one political party. So the positions there are settled before. And it will not be just the president appointing and firing this one and that one. So it will even be more complicated than Mr. Hichilema faces today. Yeah. So you have to justify the decisions. If Dr. Simuyemba occupies a certain ministry, the president cannot just wake up and fire him. There has to be consultations with others and a decision agreed. Yes, he has to go. And also the mechanism for replacing him has to be agreed. So the first 5 years will be difficult for us under this agreement. And it's by our own decision, because a government of national unity has to be a government of national unity. It can't be a government of one political party and one president. Others have the right to participate. And when decisions are made, they have to be justified. There has to be some level of consensus about them.
Will that justification and consensus been made known to the public?
Yes, they deserve to know. They deserve to know. You can't just fire a minister quietly. He's not a cleaner. It's a serious position. People should know why you have done it. Honorable Sichinga was saying Dr. Kaunda gave reasons why he fired people. Yes, he did. And sometimes even he gave reasons why he transferred the minister from one ministry
to the other. Yeah,
to the other.
That's correct.
I remember one time he was transferring Dr. Ludwig Sondash. It was a very interesting press conference. He said, Sondash, you like talking too much. I'll take you to Zambianization, where there's less talking and more paperwork. That was the reason.
And in buttressing President
I hope you remember that.
I remember that
Yes.
well, and you're absolutely right. And in buttressing Dr. Membe's position, I think it's important for us to understand the government of national unity, which we are proposing as a pact, is intended to rebuild. It's intended to provide us with a reset for the nation. It's supposed to give us a standard of transparency, which everybody can talk to. And once you're in a position of authority, even if you are president, you are regulated by government rules. There are government regulations, some of which are published, others are more, shall we say, between the parties concerned. For example, each one of us, when I served in government under Mr. Sata, there were rules that we needed to follow. For example, a minister could not go out and procure. For example, if you took money from a ministry, it would have to be only your allowances. You cannot go and say, I'm going to buy broadcast equipment as a minister. That's not your responsibility. So there are rules there that govern us. But also there's another side. There is the parliament side. If the individual has been elected into parliament, you may dismiss them as a minister, but you can't dismiss them as member of parliament. It also depends if you are abiding by the rules of your political party. If the political party withdraws you, the government is obliged to conform to that situation. So in answering that particular question, I think that it depends on the circumstances that will be prevailing at the time. But I think our government of national unity would be one that is transparent and that people are entitled to respond, to protect themselves and explain their circumstances. So I don't know that we can give you a straightforward answer and say, yes, we'll fire them, yes, we'll give the reasons, and so on and so forth. But the reasons, the rationale, the rules that are to be followed should be transparent to everybody.
Would you like to add to that?
Yes. You see, governance is moral and legal justification of directed actions. Moral and legal justification of directed actions. And those actions and resources must come to results. And therefore, you see, in putting up transparency as a yardstick, it means that reasons have got to be given. Then we're being accountable to the people. It's very, very important.
Okay. Gentlemen.
And it's not also fair,
Yeah.
PZ, to fire somebody you don't give a reason. Speculation mounts. You are destroying that person. People start thinking he has stolen, he has done this and that. Their political standing diminishes. And you are near elections. Some of them would want to contest elections. And you are really disadvantaging them because people will be asking so many questions. Finsha chitire, finsha ibire. So it's not fair. Give reasons.
Agreed. I think that's only fair for the people because there's a lot of speculation that happens when a minister is fired and any public official is let go. But we're approaching a very important day. As we're approaching International Women's Day, I'd like to find out from you, what is your assessment of how the UPND government has addressed women's issues, particularly promises around gender equality, economic empowerment, protection from gender-based violence, and increasing women's representation in decision-making roles?
Well, I think that applies to across the board rather than just to women. Yeah. How about youth, for example? How about the issues pertaining to promises that were made in other areas? For example, there will be no power cuts. Okay, I mean this is important because when a president comes into office and his government, by the way, we must insist, his government or her government, for that matter, you are looking at the promises that you make, and it's important for the credibility of that government that you respect the promises that you make. If you don't, then you have no right to criticize anybody else. And especially if you have criticized others in the past. Oh no, there will be no the power cuts, even in Dubai can have power in the desert and so on and so forth. You have made those categorical statements, meaning that I will do better, my government will do better. And I think that promises are important. And remember that not only are we talking about national laws in terms of representation, we're also dealing with the SADC protocols. There is also the AU protocols on the continental basis. There's also UN protocols which we're supposed to observe. If you look at comparisons, and we're specifically referring to women representation, it is not always guided by elective office. there are many, many appointment areas where women could be appointed where they are very, very suitable. And just to give an example, we had a female Chief Justice. Was she replaced by a fellow female? No. And the question is, why wouldn't we do that? Isn't there somebody within this system that is suitable to do that? When I think it was Chief Justice Chirwa had left, again, you needed to consider that in the context of the female ratios to male. However, because we're dealing with a history of not being able to have sufficient numbers to replace, you would have to have a specific scheme that looks at how you can enhance the women representation. Rwanda is a case in point, right? And yet there you've seen how the women representation has been enhanced because there are specific numbers that are what they call the preserved or protected areas. Uganda's got the same thing. There are specific areas where you say this particular election is only for women or only for youth. I have not seen that. I have not seen that, and I don't think any of my colleagues have seen that in terms of this government. So although the promises were made that this would be the case, it looks like, I mean, right now, you think we don't have a vice president. I mean, she's hardly head of, all right? And let's be honest about it. You know, and if she makes 3 trips, the president is questioning, but he makes 51 trips. And you ask the question, how do you treat that? Because it's an example. If he can do that to his vice president, how much more with anybody outside? So to go back and say that I'm going to change the constitution in order to justify the representation of women and youth, to me, it's very, very questionable. I think it is more decorative. It's more superficial.
But it's happened.
Well, that's why I said it depends on what else you're talking about and the kind of weight you lend to that particular situation.
Okay. I would like to get your views, Mr. Simuyemba, because I want Dr. Membe to also come in on this because in 2021, the Socialist Party was one of the few political parties that actually adhered with having 50% women representation.
Absolutely.
And across the country. So I would like him to give us his final submission. Even before we got to the law, we knew that Dr. Membe and the Socialist Party had adhered to that and given the women folk a seat at the table. What's your take on this?
They are very, very complicated issues related to that. But I would just like to just pose a challenge before I come to your question. We have 2 vacancies of 2 ministers who've been dropped, isn't it?
Yes.
On this platform challenging Hakainde Hichilema to actually appoint women. There are 2 vacancies right now. He was busy singing about Bill 7, which is now law. Let him appoint 2 women next week so that we see it serious. Now, coming to what we'll do in this election, we are encouraging a lot of women. And going by that yardstick, I don't think we're going to fail to do that. We are going to be very, very near that, or even above that, 50% women in this election.
Okay. Dr. Membe, what's your take on this? How have you been fared as far as, pushing the woman agenda? We've seen that, Sichinga here has reference to, what we have now, which is the mixed proportion of seats that are guaranteed to have women in parliament, that they pushed for and is now law, and we're gonna get that, in August after the 2026 general elections. How have they fared generally when it comes to pushing for women's issues?
Pushing for women's issues. I like the way you put it.
Yes.
It's broader than just pushing for women's positions. If we wanted to judge the UPND's government performance, Hichilema's government's performance on women, let's look at the condition of women today in Zambia. They are enduring the highest poverty levels. They are the poorest section of our nation. There are more poor women than men. They are enduring very high levels of maternal mortality. We have one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world today in Zambia.
Correct.
Maternal mortality rate is the number of women dying in childbirth. It's not men. Doesn't affect men. It's women. What is killing these women trying to give us babies? One is bleeding. When that 3 kg baby comes out of that narrow canal, it causes injuries to the woman, and the woman bleeds. If that bleeding is not stopped in time, the woman dies. There are simple medicines that are required to inject a woman and stop the bleeding. It's a drug called oxytocin. The same drug that swine farmers of pigs, use to stop the bleeding in pigs when their pigs have littered. Many of our clinics, many of our health centers, many of our hospitals do not have those drugs. So every day in Zambia, there's a woman who dies from bleeding. Every day in childbirth. There are women, not a woman. There are women dying every day. The second killer of women is septic wounds. Again, in childbirth, the woman gets injured. And those wounds, if they are not treated with the right type of antibiotics in time, they become septic. And every day we have women dying from septic wounds, very painful deaths. And those antibiotics are not very expensive drugs. They are simple drugs. The third killer of women in Zambia today is lack of cesarean operating facilities. 5% of our pregnant women need cesarean operations, especially the younger ones, whose bodies have not developed enough to give birth the natural way. But a cesarean operation cannot be carried out by a nurse. It cannot be carried out by a clinical officer. It has to be by a qualified medical doctor in a theater. Many of our hospitals, many of our clinics, health centers do not have a doctor and do not have operating theaters. So every day we have so many of our women dying from lack of cesarean operation facilities. This is an injustice to women. This is degrading the lives of women. We have over 3,000 doctors unemployed. Over 3,000 doctors unemployed. But we have got jobs for politicians. And we are actually increasing them. We are going to have more MPs. The Socialist Party has trained over 30 doctors. A good number of them locally, 17 in Venezuela. These young doctors today we have trained at Apex, Mwanawasa, Unza, do not have jobs. Do not have jobs.
But they're trained already.
But they are trained. They can't be employed. One of them is working in a pharmacy, selling drugs. A qualified medical doctor, yet our people are dying from lack of doctors. The Socialist Party has trained a number of nurses. None of them has got a job. Yet our hospitals are short of medical staff. They are boasting that they have employed over 30,000 health workers. The number required is much higher than that. You are talking of 300,000 plus. You employ 30,000 and you are beating your chest that you have done so much. It's not being honest. The other issue is access to capital for women. To this very day, the financial inclusion of women is very, very low. Women are not included in the financial system. Even the number of women who have access to mobile money is still very low if you check out the statistics. So, a number of women are also dying today from hypertension and sugar as a result of lack of sleep. when there's no food at home, when there are problems at home, there are hardships at home, the one who suffered the most is the woman. Alala kotulo 1 hour, 2 hours utulo tuapua. Insa mushisha ingira mumutwe. Isho babwituke ku skulu, isho bafiriwe ku skulu. Nga bwacha abana bakalya enshimayiro. Umuti tukashita mayiro. Ifinefi. If a person does not sleep enough, ngatale tushe omuntu umubiri ulonaika. Ama sugar atampo kunina, ama BP atampo kunina, ichere nimfwa. Bana mulengana batusha naba balowa. Tapali ubalowele. Ichibepeye uteko okufira okutadress ama problems yabo. There are too many stresses women are going through. They are living in distress. They are living in distress. So it's not just about appointments to offices.
Correct.
And that is glaring. It's so visible. It's so visible. Look at cabinet. How many women are there? What is the percentage of women? Just look at all the positions. You know, we feel the pain of women. The Socialist Party has trained over 5,000 women to read and write. Who could not read and write over the last 5 years? We can put it on an average of 1,000 per year. The program runs for 6 months. They can now read and write in English. They can send a letter in English. People who did not know how to read and write.
Can send messages.
Because if they are illiterate, they can't read and write, it means they can't use the financial services that are on the phone.
Yeah.
They can't use mobile money. Somebody has to do it for them and crook them. They can't send even a WhatsApp message or an SMS to their loved ones. That's torture in the 21st century. The Socialist Party is saying within 10 years of being in government, we should wipe out illiteracy. And we'll be the first African country to do that. We are already doing it in opposition. Which political party, even UNIP, did not do what we did? Even UNIP did not reach where we reached. 5,000 women trained how to read and write. Over 30,000 doctors in opposition. Which political party, not even UNIP, attained those levels?
30 doctors.
We are carrying out agricultural programs which involve women, agroecology. It involves women. We are training them how not much to rely on chemical fertilizers, teaching them how to grow safe food with organic manure or organic fertilizers. We are also saving them in terms of public health. The nurses we have and the few doctors we have, they are going into the townships, into the compounds, doing the basic health requirements of checking BP, checking sugar, and so on, and helping people improve on these issues that are killing them every day. So the condition of women is more than just positions. 53% of our members of the Central Committee are women. 53%. You talked about 2021. Yes, we had challenges. We were given in not less than 50% should be women by Congress, the first Congress. We managed to get 48%. We were still far, far ahead of anybody. We didn't meet 50% because of the grade 12. It was when it was starting, and there was chaos. You know, the education of women is complicated. So some had to drop out, and it pushed us to 48%. It's not rhetoric. We have to deal with this issue in a practical way.
Correct.
It affects the great majority of our human beings. They are the poorest, and they suffer the most. They are the ones who carry the burden of everybody. They are the burden bearers.
Dr. Membe and Mr. Sichinga in studio, joining us this morning, Mr. Simuyemba as well. I would like us to go speak about the youth, but before we do that, let's get the people involved. If you're listening to us now, you can call us up on 0974-870-877, and we will touch on the aspects of the youth, because we're also going to be, celebrating the young people in this country on Youth Day, which is also coming up. We'd like to hear the policies of the People's Pact regarding young people.
Long overdue.
Call now and be part of the show. Dial 0974-870-877. The Hot Seat on Hot FM.
It's 0974-870-877, 0950-955-877. I'll ask you to restrict yourself to asking one question so that we get as many questions answered as possible. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you. What's your name?
Imendine time Samchimba kuno kulusaka kwa Kanyama.
Samuchimba. Please go ahead with your question or contribution.
Sure. Wamende muri bwanji muri cyani.
Tuli bwino muri bwanji mwe basamuchimba.
Samchimba libino ngane ndikuzizani mwende ndizizani. Na office fano ninachika. So anyway, Makamba Zambi Yamene Mwakamba, that is how it's supposed to be in government. Manje nimigeza kufuti pangono na Mwakamba in a polite way na ile kitu nibela in a polite way. Maona wasondasi wanapanga mufala uja unaenda na government na American deal unasitako. So manje imo Wamembe muzanga mukulu muzanga ndabandima ndema ethnic yake soko waniona so sato lazima nikamba kutoka soko waniona so sato zakamba kutoka ni mukulu muzanga lero ni chani cha nene mutungira abo madokotazi waende kuma chemistry umu kwenu mu hospital muja mu government makala mulide shindimwe yamene yakutatifuti ndi nawo bantu bamene mwatirena tena instead mu government mukhale mukwala yoni uyenda manje kuma draft so one iyo two imwe mwatamba kutetea muli na bantu bali mu agriculture bamene mwatiremisa nao umunao mu 14 years. So why our bantu batereke ku government bakutetea ndaba apa imwe mukalibe kunkala mu government tingaziwe ngatiza kankala mu government kusubiza kala na president kusubiza kalamu. So apa ivi byonse ivi yakutetea tusenzele pamozi as one Zambia was nation monga mameni senzele minkala was ya government senzele pe madrag so na iwe na ine
Basimchimba, we've given you enough time to get your point across. Basimchimba, sikomo kwambiri. Wambera ma points yanu, wazashta respond. Let's pick up a few more calls. It's 0974-870-877, 0950-955-877. We'd like to hear from you this morning. We'd like to hear from you. Do give us a call. If you have a question or contribution, do call us up now on the hot seat. We'd like to hear from you. Good morning. Bwino bwanji mwandanzi nanu?
Ba madam nalishebo ku garden chilolo.
Ba nalishebo funsani funso yanu?
Ba membe ba president nende mulibwa.
Teri bwino muchwani bona lishebo.
Ande manyando fela mubuso nanu aba UPND ma problems yasa feri.
Vati riri mwakona kuliferisa.
Nikona lugu ya kulifaa.
Ni shangu.
Runani kuwa gwisa fateni. Nikambe mchinyanja. Wamembe, ikirizadi kutika mbila kwese mapuwa Zambiani. Mamene mwakambila kutiwe nzofuna kushita biu sani, kutiwa pakiseva zimai na mayuthi. Iwa president wa iteti, ni vabozi. Mamene mwakambila kutiwa nashita fired ma minister bazili. Ifuna tuone nga wazafaka po yuthi, oro muzimai. Vuto yaba bantu bafuna shita vintu vao bamembe. So imosa bwelea kumbuya. Itirizani kutika mbilako na ife pa ground pano taima. Tibwelera mumbuya. Waka make sure mingalato zao tizisiri zetu watufe. I think this ta konkava mene nikibukamba nikusapotani. Ndiyo kwanga. Zikomo bamembe.
Zikomo analishebo. 0974-870-877, 0950-955-877. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning to you. What's your name?
You are talking to Chanda from Bowling.
All right, Chanda, please go ahead with your question or contribution.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, sir. Vachana.
Yeah, Mr. President, I want to find out, what do you think about these endorsements which are happening in the state? Are they real or something being pushed by him or what? I want to find out from you, sir.
I didn't get the question.
He's asking whether the endorsements that President Hakainde Hichilema, are they real or they're somewhat being bought?
Oh, okay.
Yes. All right, Chanda, thank you very much. Thank you for your call. Squeeze in one more, then we allow our panelists to respond to your concerns, and then we continue with the hot seat. Good morning.
Good morning, PV.
Morning to you. What's your name?
This is Peter.
All right, Peter, please go ahead with your question. We have a whole panel in studio of the People's
Thank
Pact.
you very much. Good morning, our incoming President, Dr. Membe.
Mwachibukashan.
Yeah, I'm quiet. Doctor, I just want to agree to what you said earlier. There's nothing wrong with the statement you made for you to be summoned or maybe questioned. Because the UPND, what they want to hear is just good things. Just look at these fake endorsements. Members, they say that so endorsements, these are not voters, please. These are not votes. Remember that a vote is a secret. So they can endorse someone, but they know what they are doing. Then coming to the other part, your statement, you said that you embarrassed the president. The UPND, what they want to hear is good things. That yesterday, someone was chased from parliament just because he embarrassed the government and the speaker. So they just want to get good things from people. But what is on the ground is different. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Peter. I'll allow you to respond to the contributions that have come through.
Maybe before the president comes in there, just a couple of items that maybe we can respond to. I was looking forward to youth issues. I was looking forward.
We're getting to that.
I want to hear the youth. I want to hear the problems of the youth because a lot of this are generally applicable. But however, let's talk about the fake endorsements, just because two people have talked about that. We've been through this road before, moderator. We've been through it before. Just before the 2021 elections, how many people wanted to be endorsed under the PF? How many? Many people. Some of them today have now, they're saying they are in partnership with UPND. This is what we call the marriage of convenience. And these endorsements is quite clear. You can see they're stage managed, without question. And even when ministers are asked about it, when the president is asked about it, they are troubled. They have got difficulties just explaining this. But even if they were genuine, they are just representing a small portion of our population. Look at what happened in 2021. The results were, elections, the results were completely different. And also, the members have got a saying that you can tell the behavior of an individual, in English terms, by the colors, by the way they do before the event. Okay? And this is exactly what we're doing. For the Socialist Party, for me, I think the most impressive part is that they have not just trained young people to be doctors, to be nurses, because this is the area of greatest demand. Because that is the position that we should be training the next generation of leaders. And leaders are not just people that are in politics. They are people that are going to occupy positions. Pharmacists, medical doctors, they have to make decisions. They are those that have got to do financial services. They are those that have women that have not had any training at all in terms of literacy levels. And at my church, we run a program similar to that. And I can tell you, the sight you see on a woman's face after they've been trained, now they can speak their language, now they can even sign their name and now they don't have to put an X in order to show that they've received, but now they can write their full name, their names in full, they can write their children's names. The joy that you see on these faces is unbelievable.
Okay.
So for me, I think that the important thing is that we are talking about focusing on the youth, that are the next generation of the leadership. And I thought I'd just touch on that issue. I don't think that many people should be worried about these endorsements.
Okay.
They are not reflective of
Mr.
what is
Simuyemba.
going on. Yeah.
A very quick one. You see, before we changed to multi-party politics, under the UDP, there used to be production of essential medicines in this country. There was a lot of production of essential medicines. All that industry has collapsed. And this current leadership and the immediate past leadership, they were not interested in rejuvenating these industries so that certain drugs will be available in our hospitals and the like. I'm trying to say this because if I heard the first caller correctly, he was talking about the manufacture of drugs or the availability of drugs. Coming to the new wave of endorsement, it's an optic during the election time, it's euphoria. And I would just like to put a small comment on what happened in Chipata after the Nchwala or during the Nchwala, where President Hakainde was purportedly endorsed. And there's also other optics in history that 2021, a particular person was endorsed and they lost. Another one was endorsed and they lost. And even this one, this endorsement from a particular chief, it means that this person is going to lose and whatever it is. But what is important is truthfulness. What is important is to measure reality as the yardstick for our existential. If we're going to be just be putting even certain not only endorsements, you saw the Mwamba TV where there was those whatever. We are also aware of what you are calling digital farms, where you are harvesting endorsements to a particular candidate. You can have a single person having 20 phones and then is doing as if it's many different, but that's AI and the technology that comes with it. Having said that, we would like just to put to the public that what we are saying here is practical way of dealing with people's problems. Reality is the only measure. We will not eat things which do not or which are just a smoke. We are very practical and we intend to be practical and we live by that and by our word.
Okay. Dr. Membe?
Simuyemba was saying we should take the people we have trained to government. That's exactly what we are doing. We are training these people to work for government. But government is not giving these young doctors jobs. That's why one of them is selling medicines in a pharmacy, working there, because he can get a job. We have in this studio a young man, Skoneo Lusambo. Is a part of our youth league leadership. Is a member of the Central Committee. Is a college graduate. Trained mathematics teacher, secondary school. He has no job. He has no job. Not that he doesn't want to work as a teacher, but he has no job. He can double the politics with a job. And that's why we are saying when they claim they have trained 40,000, they have recruited 40,000 teachers. When the schools need far more than that, they need more than 300,000 teachers. Mm-hmm. And we have got so many teachers who are not employed. Yet schools do not have teachers. The school in my village in Chinsari, in Nkulungu, kwa Mwika Primary School, has 10 teachers for 1,008 kids. 1,080 children have got 10 teachers, 4 classrooms. They need a minimum of 25 teachers. There are 160 in a class on average. If you take a period of 40 minutes, it means the teacher's got only 30 seconds with the child. Yet there are so many teachers like Lusambo who have no jobs. So, Simuyemba, it's not that we are keeping these trained people. No, we are training them for the country. We are training for the government to use. but the government doesn't want to use them. The challenges the people are facing are many. Even those who are working today, who are lucky to find jobs, they are in serious distress. They are debt trapped because of the high cost of living. Many civil servants today are getting a negative salary, or the little that they get cannot even buy them a bag of meal, 25 kg. They can't. They are trapped in a debt. And they will not be able to get themselves out of that unless somebody traps them. They need external help. And that external help can only come from government. But unfortunately, the same government that is supposed to get them out of the debt trap, its leadership is the one that is getting them into a debt trap. They are the owners of the financial institutions. They are the shareholders in these microfinancing companies that have trapped our debt. On average, Bank of Zambia sends about 10 billion kwacha for salaries. Out of that 10 billion, 8 billion gets to the lenders of money. Only 2 billion goes to the expenses of the workers. These people are in distress. Good leaders should care about their citizens who are in distress. The same way the country is looking for debt restructuring, for debt bailout, the same with these individuals. And it's not only civil servants, it has gone even to those working in private companies. Some of them even in their own small businesses. They are trapped. We can't continue like this. We are losing people. People are committing suicide over death. People are in distress, are stressed. They are getting depressed. This is not the way to run a country. There was the issue of endorsements by Chanda. Yes.
Chanda and Peter actually brought up the same issue.
Yes. Yeah. And if the endorsements are not genuine, it's self-deception.
Correct.
We have seen it. We have seen it in these endorsements. We have seen it in polls that are conducted to push up a certain image.
Are you moved by these endorsements? And I ask this to everyone in the People's Pact. The endorsements that you've seen from the students, the endorsements that we saw from the councillors, the endorsements from the chiefs. Are you moved?
We have some of our councillors who were brought here to Lusaka. They're still here. They were brought here without an agenda. They didn't know what they were coming here for. They asked for permission to come. We told them, come. You are invited by the president to come. So they came. Our councillors from all over the country. And they refused. When they got here, the agenda was to endorse the Hichilema. They refused to endorse him. And it was embarrassing. So many councillors. And money wasted. Unfortunately, it's taxpayers' money.
Yeah,
that has been wasted to bring them here. You have over 1,854 councillors. All brought it to Lusaka to endorse somebody. Just to endorse. And they refuse at such a high cost. We saw on the copper belt in Kitwe students being ferried there, paid money. Yeah? They started fighting with them over money because they didn't pay them 50 kwacha. 100 kwacha they were paying them. So if a person is paying to be endorsed, there is something that is seriously wrong. You can seek as many endorsements. We have seen it in the past. We have seen it before. We know how it plays out. It's self-deception. It's desperation. There was talk from Peter about criticism, not tolerating criticism. But let the critical critic criticize you. It won't kill you. Pick up some things that are positive, that are necessary, that are helpful from that criticism. You can discard others which are not helpful. But listen to them. Don't penalize people for criticizing you. If you want to be praised, people will praise you even where it's not necessary. Who is fooling who? You are fooling yourself. The issue of ECL, it won't die. It won't die. We won't stop talking about it until he's buried. And what we are doing about ECL's body, we would do even to HH's body if he had died today. We would demand that he's buried. Not after 9 months, he's still not buried. We will not accept that. It can't be done in our name. And that's why we're saying, Ichilema, you can't do this in our name.
Correct.
We are refusing it. Yes, lies are being told, but the truth is it is Hichilema who has refused to get Edgar's body buried. It is Hichilema who went to court and stopped the burial of Edgar. It was not the family of Edgar that went to court to stop the burial. It's HH who has gone to stop the burial. So, ela vepa. Vela vepa.
And I think it's important that you ask the question in general about endorsements. We said we've been on this road before, but in a multi-party state, how do you seek the endorsement of people that do not belong to your party? How do you do that? In a normal situation, do you expect that the parliament, when it has got multiple members of parliament from different political parties, should endorse the sitting president? I mean, why should you have the parliament in the first place? Why do we have elections in the first place if it is a foregone thing that it belongs to one political party?
And they are even now asking chiefs to endorse
them. But the chiefs
yet the same people say chiefs should
not be involved.
Should not be involved in politics.
What kind of leadership is this, for crying out loud?
If a chief is seen with an opposition politician or did what they are doing to them, that chief will be in problems. So it's only them who can be endorsed by chiefs. It's only them who can be endorsed by students. It's them who can be endorsed by religious leaders. What type of people are we dealing with? Yeah?
We've run out of time.
Have we?
Yes, we have.
We've come to
I thought
the end of the program.
we just got started. No,
I'll excuse you because you came
absolutely. I want to apologize.
But yeah, we've run out of time. We have to end the program here. But I would like you to end with a message to the young people, the youths that will be celebrating also on the 12th of this month. We'll be commemorating Youth Day. Youth Week was launched. There's a lot of hope from young people with the upcoming general election. What message do you have for young people if they decide to go the People's Pact way? I'll start with you, Mr. Singh.
Yeah, well, I think it's quite clear. For me, I'm an accountant, so I rely on statistics. Let's go back a little bit to some stats. It shows us the population of our country at 21 million lives, and according to the statistics, the bulge is around the youth. In other words, our mean age of our population, our country's population, is 19 years. So you're talking of a young person who's just leaving secondary school, okay? So, and we are talking about that number being at 84%. 84% are young people below the age of 35, okay? So you've got the majority of our population. We are a young country. The majority of our population are young people. And even if you break it further down, 68% are below the age of 25. So this is a young country. It is comprising of young people. Surely it behooves every political party, including the People's Pact, to ensure that these people are taken care of, because they represent the future of the country. They represent the skills and the aspirations and the requirements of the people. So for us, this is the priority number one. It's a priority number one to provide them not just with education, but also to provide them with the employment opportunities so that they can exercise that training that we have put them through. The example we've already given about what Socialist Party is doing in terms of doctors, in terms of nurses, and so on and so forth. So for us, I think the focus is going to be on that. But we need to train them. For us to have the youth dividend, we must train them for the skills that are needed. How many of them are being trained as metallurgists? How many of them are geologists? How many of them are mine engineers? How many of them are going to be civil engineers to conduct the works in the rural areas, to construct the roads, to construct the schools? Where are we going to, how quickly can we get them? So we want to train them first. Make sure that their expertise, they've got the basic skills, carpentry, electrical, plumbing, and so on and so forth. These are key from our point of view. And we've got a robust program that we have done. From within 90 days of getting into office, we will put this in place. We'll start to now look at the schemes that we can be able to train them. There's TVETA, there is national service, there is different kind of skills that we need to do right from secondary school, as we used to do in the past.
Okay.
That is our strategy.
Okay. Mr. Simuyemba.
A very quick one. Youths are the future of this country, and look at our age. We are phasing out. And as Honorable Bob has said, we have 84% thereabout. What we need now is to make sure that we nurture this population very well, so that the generations to come are guaranteed of a leadership. If we mess up with the youth population now, there will be no nation. In fact, when we talk about sovereignty and security, you should really look at how well-being this particular population sector is. Otherwise, there will be no future for Zambia. So we are doing everything possible to make sure that the youths of today become responsible leaders of tomorrow.
Thank you. Dr. Membe?
Young people, the future of this country belongs to you. Yes, it belongs to all of us, but it belongs much more to you. But the future is not built in the future. The future is built on the threshold of the decisions we take today, the actions we take today. That's what building the future is. The future is built on the threshold of what we do today. You are not future leaders. You are leaders of today and leaders of tomorrow. Take an interest in the governance of your country. The decisions that are being taken today are going to affect your tomorrow. Some of the people taking these decisions today and actions today, they will not be there tomorrow. They are restructuring dates, they are contracting dates, and pushing the payments to the future. And it will be you to pay these debts with resources depleted, with everything taken away from you. Participate in the decisions of today. Don't be swayed with small things. Utuma 50 kwacha, utuma zari vare mipela, at endorse me. Okay, endorse them. Pokeni ulpia mulie. But exercise your vote in the right way. And make sure you exercise your right to vote.
Correct.
And you vote correctly.
For your future.
For your future, not for their future. Because they have no future, they've got a present and a past. And everything is centered so much about the present for them. They are contracting debt to show up their political prestige for today, not for you. Start to see things for yourselves. Don't let people see things for you. Start to analyze things for yourselves. Don't let other people analyze things for you. Analyze them for yourselves and come to your own conclusions. Don't drive on the conclusions of others. Drive on your conclusions and make the right decisions. Don't be swayed by rhetoric. Don't be swayed by money. Ubutungulushi bwakushita bulabipa kuntanshi. Ubutungulushi bwakyalo tebwakushita tebwakushitisha n'ekyalo ita twakitire. Batupere ffe kuliresa kuluse lwakwe. Tuyishitisha obutungulushi bwakyalo notuma 50 kwacha utuma 100 kwacha bale mipera utuma endorsements. Pokeni mulie but ubushiku bwakuwota pa 13th August balangeni ati mwali chenjera taba chenjera.
Doc, I'd like to thank you very much for coming through to the hot seat. To everybody else on the panel, Mr. Sichinga, Mr. Simuyemba, thank you very much for coming through to the hot seat this morning.
We appreciate you, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to exercise this opportunity to share with you our views and how we see things going forward.
Thank you.
All right, that's our show for today, Thursday, the 5th of March 2026. You can join my colleague Chisha Murambe for another edition of the Hot Seat on Tuesday next week, right here on Hot. The heat is on. In studio, we had Dr. Fred Membe, who's president of the Socialist Party and People's Pact 2026 presidential candidate. We also had Mr. Bob Sichinga, People's Pact vice president, and Mr. Kaluba Simuyemba, who is president of the Movement for Change and Equity and vice president of the People's Pact. Until next week, Tuesday, it's goodbye for now.
That's all for today. Tune in again next time for another exciting edition of the Hot Seat on Hot FM.
This is Maro Auto Spares. With that check engine light on your dash or anything else, Maro is your one-stop shop for all your genuine auto spares for